All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's just about 12 o'clock. Thank you for being here today for our special New Year's party. Thank you, before we get started, a big round of applause to the World Television Champion, Mr. Phantasmo, for being here. On best behavior and not taking advantage of the open bar because he has a signing coming up right after this.
You're all lucky. You're lucky, Chris.
And yeah, right. And super duper a special thanks for hosting this event to Mr. Toru Yano in the back.
Yes.
And most of all, first of all, because it is 2026, Happy New Year to everyone. Raise your glasses or whatever you have, and in big Japanese style, let's give it a big 1, 2, 3, kanpai. Ready? 1, 2, 3, kanpai! Okay. We'll get started. And I suppose that means we started our podcast.
Right, we're live. Well, we're live right there.
We're
live
on Instagram, by the way.
All right. Well, Chris, I know you laid out a couple of topics for us to just kind of shoot about, here tonight. And why don't you lay it on us? You're the guy,
Yeah, it's all of a sudden, like, Walker's usually got in charge.
No.
And now he's been put in this position. Everybody's looking at him and it's like, Chris, you got to talk to the people. Obviously we're all here for Tanahashi's last match, mainly, in the Tokyo Dome. And so there's been a lot of talk about lasts, but I wanted to talk about firsts. I thought it'd be interesting for us to talk about the first time we came across Tanahashi as a fan and then as part of the business. Would be two separate, interesting questions. Right? So I'm going to start with our guest, LP. Like, what was the first? Can you remember the first Tanahashi match you even saw, or?
Well, it must have been on Daily Motion.
No.
That's how I used to watch New Japan 15 years ago.
51. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It was probably one of his G1 matches. I started watching maybe like 2012 New Japan. But, it's hard to go against Tanahashi and Okada for being some of the best matches of all time. But now that I think about it, I think I met Tanahashi in Rev Pro. I'm sure we got a couple Brits here, but we did the Global Wars or something like that.
Yeah.
Like the two shows, and they were all there. I just remember shitting my pants in that locker room. Just all the New Japan guys. And I was in England for like 6 months at that moment, so I was a little scared. It worked out, though, I think.
Do you remember the first thing Tanahashi said to you?
I don't remember what I had for breakfast today, Chris. And it's sitting right in front of me.
So I was going to say, like, the first time I first saw Tanahashi in like 2005 live, like in Fujisawa. I used to live down on the coast of Japan, and there was a house show nearby, and I went to see him, and I saw him just then. But the first time I met him properly, I think we did like exchange looks and like greetings or whatever, but on the flight to MSG in 2019. And like, I think Tanahashi has, he's got pretty good English, right? But like, there are especially phrases that he's really proud of himself that he likes to use. And one of his like most impressive phrases that he'll say with gusto is, "What do I call you, my brother?" And I got I got brothered by Tanahashi. and you're in at that point. And I introduced Walker to Tanahashi.
Yeah, no, I don't even remember when that would have been. Maybe Tokyo Dome 2024 beforehand.
It
would have been Osaka. That's right.
It was your first day.
Power Struggle 2024.
The day before.
Right. Yeah, 2023. Yeah, whatever it would have been. Osaka. I got. What are you? Hey, brother. Whatever it was. What do I call you, brother? And I answer, I go, "Oh, my name is Walker," and he goes on to call me Worker for another year of my life. So, which I guess I am one of his workers now. So that's fallen true.
He was just like, "Oh, good size,
good size. You'll be a worker.
Size, you'll work
dojo." Yeah. That's been it for me though. So.
What was your first Tana match to see?
Tanahashi Minoru Suzuki. actually. And then we actually went back to call that like in the retro archives at one point.
The Tokyo Dome.
The Tokyo Dome one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my favorite one.
Yeah. That was a match. Yeah. I mean, there's so much to kind of unpack. So I think for LP, you must have. What's your favorite Tanahashi story? There must be something.
I don't know if it's like a story, but it's like the visual. Because I got to tag teaming with them all tag league, but all like the wrestlers like tape their legs. Well, he doesn't. He has like a staff to like tape his legs, but he will always like put his pants and boots on, and then wait for the tape guy to be ready, and then he just pulls his pants down, like around his ankles, and he's just sitting there in his little like man thong, and they tape his legs every show, like all his knees, and it's quite the visual. I love it. I don't think he's also ever called me LP.
Yeah.
He just calls me Riley every time, which is great.
Yeah.
Cool Walker worker.
Yeah. Riley, Worker, and...
Yeah, I'm Chris with
you. You can be Chris.
I can be
that's
Chris
fine.
with him.
You can be Chris.
Yeah.
All right.
But he was like, I was just telling this, like, in the office, I think it's a little bit weird, because like usually in Japanese, right, it's always like last name San, right? But I think with Tanahashi, when he first became president, he's like, oh, do I call him last name San? And then I don't know his last name, or do you like, because he's foreign, so we go first name. Usually, like, I'm first, like, I would usually, like, people would call me Chris San in the office, right? But he was like, he wasn't sure, so I got, what do I call you, brother? Twice. I called brother twice by Tanahashi when he became president as well. Yeah.
Wow.
That was, yeah.
There you go.
That was the thing, yeah. So,
I did see him tired once.
Once.
I don't know
That's
if I should say it, but...
That's a big claim. Like, 2 days before retirement. I don't know, man.
He says it all the time. I took a photo in the taxi. In the back seat, we were coming back from a sponsor or something with, I don't know who, but he was sleeping in the back seat, snoring with his mouth open. And I had to take a photo. It's on my old phone. I wish I could pull it up, but... I'll look for it, but I can't promise anything.
All right.
He is the nicest man of all time. Like, it's not a gimmick of, like, he is, like, the ace of the universe, and, like, never seen him have a bad day ever. And, like, he's always been a babyface. Like, being a bad guy wouldn't even cross his mind. Like, I don't think he could be a bad guy in real life or even pretend to be one. He's always so damn positive.
There's always people, like... It doesn't matter. I think there's very select few. Like, Tanahashi is one. I've heard, like, Adam Cole is another one. Where it's like, the generally nice, where it's like, there's always somebody where, like, someone in the business is like that. Like, it's like, I don't think there's anybody, there can't be anybody with Tanahashi who was like, that. I mean, there's probably tons that are like that, Walker Stewart.
Well, Well, I think Tanahashi for me, I'm out of the three of us sitting at these combined desks. I'm the newest to come into the fray, right? And so there's always, I'm sure as a wrestler, there's a little bit of a disconnect between being an international talent or a foreigner and trying to connect with the Japanese talent. It's doubly more so, I'd argue, for someone in my position that isn't in the locker rooms per se, but is always on the buses or always kind of in the surrounding area as the talent. And so Tanahashi will be the person that I remember the most as, the first Japanese talent to really try and bridge a gap with me. And I think that, as a personal anecdote there, as a person himself, Tanahashi's always just going to be the guy who stands out to me as the one who made the effort first and gave me the confidence to kind of do that myself and make connections with the talent myself in that way. So Tanahashi is always going to be the stand-up guy in my book, and I think that goes for all of us at this table. So.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like, people don't know what he's like in the office, but, like, he'll do, when, usually on an office day, right at 10 o'clock, we have, like, an all-hands, like, everybody stands up, and there's, like, if there's anybody, like, any important things that are happening that day, we'll talk about it, and then they'll throw it to, like, the vice president and the chairman, and Tanahashi will say a word, right? And I think, like, for so many, over the years, whereas, like, presidents have been like, oh, there's nothing really today, like, Tanahashi will always make sure he has something to say every day. And then it's usually he will work in like some stupid dad joke into it at some point, you know, and just to get the mild like, you crack on it and go to work. But like, you know, I mean, I think it's just like it elevates. It must be the same in the locker room as well, right? He just makes the atmosphere brighter by being there.
Oh, 100%. I think that's why a lot of us have stayed in New Japan so long. You know, I don't think there's like one wrestler who doesn't have that like memory of like hugging Tanahashi or like doing the fist bump with him. He truly is like a legend of wrestling. Like even in WWE, you know, like the whole like everyone wanted to see Tanahashi and Cena. Like he's like transcended New Japan almost. And he's only ever really been in New Japan.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think, from a star perspective, that's a great point. Of like, there's very few that would sell out. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to think we're going to be in a sold-out Tokyo Dome in 2 days, right? It's like the biggest, we were talking, it's the biggest crowd I've ever been in.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, let alone been a part of. But to do that and to do it a month in advance, right, is crazy to think about. You know, I mean, obviously, first time we've done it, like, since ELP, right, to that level, is just, you know, I mean, it's the measure of the man that he is. And, of course, the World TV Championship. No, because, like, that wasn't even announced.
No, yeah. Nope.
Maybe one person.
Sure, you have a feeling
On
about
the street.
that. By the,
No, I know.
the look you just gave me.
I'm just happy to be there, kid.
Well, there you go. Aren't we all?
We're just trying to get people in their seats
There you go.
before 4.
Before,
Right.
yeah.
So get there at 3:30, please.
3:30. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I mean, speaking of that, there is actually a wrestling show happening in a couple of days. I mean, some people have... Okay, hands up who has seen wrestling this weekend already.
Yep.
Wow.
Most people in here.
Hands
All
up
right.
if you've been to more than 3 shows.
Wow.
Wow, more than 5 shows.
Wow.
Gee.
How long have you guys been here for?
5 days. I've done like
5
8
days.
shows. Yeah.
8 shows in 5
8 shows,
days.
5 days.
You said.
I've been here about 11, and I think I've done 20.
Wow.
shows in 11
All right. Well, he wins the award today. All right. Wow.
Pretty much every show we've been together.
And now, like, best friends.
Here we go. Yeah. Met 3 days ago.
Yeah, 3 days ago, yeah.
What was the best venue?
Ichigai Chocolate Square. The Choco Pro.
Oh, on the Mets. Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
okay.
That was probably the best.
That's fun.
It was the best match so far.
Oh my god. Probably Yu's retirement match. You and Chihiro.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
That was good.
Wow.
Probably say that.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully we'll have to try and top that.
Well,
In the...
Tanahashi's retired as well. So
Yeah. Oh, really? Tanahashi?
Yeah.
Really? Holy shit! Yeah. So I thought we could talk a little bit about what else is on the card at Wrestle Kingdom 20 in a couple of days, and we'll start with the start. You know, because there's a press conference happening tomorrow. I don't think
We're
you're
not
gonna
on
be
it,
there.
no.
So, you know, here's your chance to, you know, tell that rascal Chris Brookes off for attacking you in court.
Damn you, Chris Brookes. Yeah, I just think it's cool that we're doing something different.
Yeah.
You know, I always want to do the open challenge. And then a guy from DDT ran out, and he's going to be coming on the biggest show of the year, or one of the biggest shows, like, of all time,
Yeah.
as not a New Japan wrestler. There was a little bit inside me that I felt kind of bad that it's not someone in New Japan, you know, that we spent so much time on the road, 3.5 weeks in little hotels and country towns, and an outsider gets that spot. But Chris said something very interesting about 2026 in Japanese wrestling is going to be a little crazy. And I think with Tanahashi retiring, the best thing New Japan could do is get a little crazy. So I also know there's a DDT show tomorrow. at Kurikan. So I'll watch it on Wrestle Universe from my house. Wink.
Well, you could have said I'll try and find something on Dailymotion. I don't really think that would.
I don't have to use it anymore because I pay $9.99 to have Wrestle Universe and New Japan World.
I mean, for people that are just sort of hopping on, like maybe might not know the history with you and Chris, and you've known each other for a long time. Right?
Yeah, back in Rev Pro, the Cockpit, we had a match. What's so funny about Cockpit?
There's an emphasis you gave that I just, you continue. That's fine.
Has anyone here been to the Cockpit for old Rev Pro shows? 2, 3 people? Yeah. It was very cool. There was only about, I don't know, like 150, 200 seats, but it was such like a small, it was almost like a super small Ryogoku. Not at all, but kind of. It's not like a flat surface. It's raised, so it's very cool, intimate atmosphere. And we've had some matches there. We also had a match with Jushin Thunder Liger at York Hall. And I was actually supposed to be in his last UK match. My flight got canceled. I was at YVR about to fly into Rev Pro. And I think it was Oku something replaced me.
Oh, yeah.
Team with Liger, but yeah, and then me and Chris go back to Fight Club Pro. I've done one death match in my life. That was Death House against Schadenfreude and Walter and Dunkzilla and Aussie Open and some guys. And, then we both came to Japan around the same time. We did that Despy show together.
Yeah. I remember when, because you came in that Dontaku 2019.
Yeah.
And I think that was the first time we had the Mox vignette. Because Mox was coming in for the Super Junior finals. And about half of the people were who's this, blah, blah, blah. There was a lot of mystery. And a lot of people were saying it was Chris Brookes. And then Chris Brookes went and shot, and it's somewhere on the internet, shot a parody of that for DDT. He did a parody of him running through
at the
going
bar.
to a bar.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy how everything's.
Actually, I have a funny story from my debut. I remember we were practicing that LED jacket that they made me. Even though I've always worn LED jackets, Tama Tonga comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, bro, I don't think you should wear that. You look like Devitt."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, okay, Mr. Bullet Club guy. Thank you." Thank you for that. Well, actually, the guy who's paying me said I should. But if I'm going to piss you off, then maybe I shouldn't. And that was my first interaction with Tama Tonga. Getting pissed off at me that I had an LED jacket that looked like his friend's.
Did you wear it?
I did, yeah. I did wear it.
The next month, I had to fly your jacket to Melbourne. And I was worried because, it had all of these. I think it was the first prototype of it or whatever,
Yeah.
and there were wires coming out of it. It looked like an improvised. It looked like an.
They had they had these giant batteries that you're not supposed to fly with or whatever. And I had a layover in Sweden, and they actually confiscated the batteries.
Oh no!
Because they said you can't fly with them, and I was like, well, I flew here with them, so I know you can. And then they said, well, you can't fly out of here. And then I had to it was a big show in England or something with no batteries in my jacket. And God, Tama was right. I should not have won that.
You shouldn't have won the
It's
jacket.
been a curse, but
Yeah. And then it all came round to Korakuen last week, where you had the sunglasses to give out, and
yes.
then the batteries weren't.
My new Headbanger RGB LED shades now available at Helming or the website this weekend. But yeah, I thought it was Christmas. I'm going to do something nice and give a fan one of my glasses because they're not cheap. And sometimes when you're the first match, you don't have a lot of time to prepare things like charging your glasses. So I saw a cute little fan and decided to give him a pair of glasses. And I was like, I'll turn them on for him. This will be good. And then I was like, oh, I forgot to charge the glasses. This is awkward. So every time you try and do something nice, something always happens. But then I gave him the ones that I wore, and it was all okay.
Yeah, it was
Very
okay.
good.
It was a very
Yeah.
touching
It was.
holiday moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do that all the time, though. They're expensive. You can't mass produce them like Bret Hart shades, unfortunately.
Expensive but great value at whatever they are from how much?
1,300 yen.
1,300. What?
13,000.
13,000. Yeah,
13,000.
1,300 yen is cheap. 13,000
yen, yeah.
13,000 yen is great value.
But anyways, we have another full Wrestle Kingdom card to talk about.
Yeah, man. I mean, Walker, we talked about, the main event we could talk for years and years about. Opening match we talked about. What else is, if you had to pick one?
Well, it's the one that everyone's been talking about. It's captured. I think there have been certain interviews that have come out, courtesy of NJPW Global, that have been capturing the storm recently of the news cycle, and that's Konosuke Takeshita and Yota Tsuji. And I think that there's a lot to talk about when it comes to Yota Tsuji and certain comments made about the future, made about the past as well. The IWGP Heavyweight Championship, the lineage of that with the World Heavyweight Championship has been kind of a major point Tsuji has hit on, and I think is going to be a major point that we talk about going into the broadcast.
Yeah, I think you've got, Takeshita's been talking a long time about wanting that sort of fever pitch. I think one of his touch points is always October 9th, 95, New Japan versus UWF, right? And that very sort of contentious atmosphere, like a sort of football match atmosphere, right? Where both guys, it's not necessarily a case of this guy's wrong, this guy's right, but both guys feel they're right and they're so convinced of it, and there are going to be there is going to be division in that crowd, and where they go, it's going to be such a unique atmosphere.
Yeah, I think there's a level too of, I think that sometimes you have heavyweight championship matches, this one being a double title matchup where you go, well, there's one person I'd like to win, there's one person that I think I don't want to win. And, I think that this one is going to have people divided. I'm sure everyone in here has some divisive opinions on where they want things to go, or maybe they don't. But truth be told, I think that no matter who walks away with the titles, Konosuke Takeshita, Yota Tsuji, 2026 is going to be exciting based off of that result.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of sort of philosophical stuff, ideologies and things like that. I mean, both guys have talked about it, and it is one of those things where it's to be fair here, I know most a lot of us here are from the fan club, so you're kind of hardcore entrenched New Japan fans. Is there anybody that has come, let's say this, has anybody come on board and started watching New Japan after AEW? One. And so a couple, right? So I'm intrigued for both of you, did you find out about New Japan through AEW? Or
I learned a lot about New Japan from Kevin right here.
Right.
He's the world's greatest Jeff Cobb fan.
There you go. Right.
I just like the strong style.
Yeah.
I like, I go to almost every AEW pay-per-view, and New Japan is very similar, but in a good way different. And
yeah,
I think the talent is wonderful, and so AEW I did start watching first, but happy to come to Japan for the first time for Wrestle Kingdom.
I think one of the things that I work with a lot in the office is what we call our inbound business, right? Which is helping guys like you come over to Japan and make it easy for people to watch shows. Really our goal is we're pretty good at talking to New Japan fans, right? But not necessarily New Japan fans coming to see wrestling for the first time, right? And I think if you're regulars to Korakuen Hall, you've seen a lot more sort of foreign faces over the last sort of year or so in the crowd. And we get a chance to talk to a lot of them. And a lot of them are I watch AEW every week on TV. And I knew New Japan, I knew there was wrestling that happens in Japan because of that. And I think for me, and maybe you as a fan as well, right? It was WCW and Liger showing up on WCW or things like that, or stuff like the N64 video games, and and here's I think that sort of holistic sense, there is so much that Takeshita is doing because he's IWGP World Heavyweight Champion and being in AEW. There's so much that he's doing that perhaps Yota Tsuji doesn't see, or the domestic fans don't see as much. But that is definitely a huge value and a huge benefit for us, years on into the future. So I kind of really understand Tsuji's mindset, but at the same time, we've seen sort of firsthand how great the relationship and how great AEW is as a tool to New Japan. But I mean, for you, you've wrestled Takeshita several times, and you know him quite well. Mm-hmm. So I mean, what's your sort of take on this, on the double title match?
Well, the one thing that stands out the most about it is Tsuji says he's going to bring that big belt back.
Mm-hmm.
The big nice one that everyone likes. So if he wins and doesn't bring it back, then I'm going to be hot. But, I'm on the fence how I feel about Takeshita. Obviously, he's one of the top 10 best wrestlers in the world, but, for the Christmas Hurricane, I would have loved Takeshita and Okada versus Tsuji and Tanahashi.
Right.
For the last, match before Wrestle Kingdom, and he was in New York doing something else, and you're like, well, that doesn't really help us. But I guess it does, because people like him wouldn't be here.
Right.
But then you have like a territory thing, like we want him here doing matches. And like he did a DDT show and not a New Japan show. Like last month. They were like, well, he's our champ, so maybe you should be on our shows. But then he's got 3 contracts, so you can't do that exactly. But
right.
Also, he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, so we're happy that he is here sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, this is the great Chris Amser will have all the numbers, right? But I mean, in terms of singles matches, Takeshita was up there in terms of singles matches in New Japan Pro Wrestling over the last year. But I think a lot of the questions and Tsuji's sort of doubts, or other people's doubts, are well, not the singles matches, but the other shows that are the in-betweens, filling in the gaps, is what's really important as a champion. So I can definitely understand sort of Tsuji's mindset. And it's one of those that there isn't a right answer, really.
Sure. I mean, and I'll tell you where I lie on it, and I think it's going to be an opinion that I keep off of the Wrestle Kingdom 20 broadcast, and I go into it a little back and forth on that night. Truth be told, I know that you keep yourself local to Tokyo, or whenever we have a major show, a tournament final, you'll make the travel there.
Yep.
Phantasmo, you and I, for the most part, are on the road. We're going to night 14 for World Tag League out of 18 nights, and there is a bit of a grind and a process that goes with that. And I think that there's a level of, for me personally, being one of the guys that is on the road with you all the time, and being in the English broadcast booth every single night, solo or with you or with whoever, there's a value to seeing the World Heavyweight Champion in these towns, right? And I know that there's certainly a heavy value that comes to that for our paying fans that are in some of those smaller towns. I think those are going to be the people that pull the most for Yota Tsuji on the night, more than anything.
Yeah. I think either way, though, what it comes down to, there was a line in the Takeshita interview, it was well, I believe I'm right, you believe you're right, but at the end of the day, it's the better guy, it's the stronger guy that wins the belt, and if you've got an issue, then take it from me. And that's what a great wrestling match is, right? I think that's what this really is about. And I think there was a lot of talk about what should go on last as well. That was the other sort of part of the debate of well, you can't have the IWGP title not be on last, but you can't have Tanahashi not be on last. And I think here's this situation where Tsuji and Takeshita will have, especially when you think about the televised aspects of this show, putting it on second to last, they're going to have the most eyes, the biggest audience on what they're doing. And I think that's what the night really is about. Tanahashi's talked about, even though, this is my retirement show, you can say my retirement drew the house, but my job is to connect the fans that are there and that are watching to the next generation and the next set of people that are going to be the guys, and whoever wins that double title match is going to be definitely the guy moving on. So I think it's an incredibly important match, and it's definitely one I can't wait to see. Speaking about incredibly important matches, I'm going to go what's underneath that, and the Never Openweight Championship. Aaron Wolf versus Evil, and I'm intrigued again, a show of hands, before Aaron Wolf signed with New Japan Pro Wrestling, I mean, he is a mainstream Japanese sporting icon, right? But from an international level, who knew who Aaron Wolf was? And one hand, and you would.
You see one hand there.
So, I mean, I think that's an interesting level when it comes to the cosmopolitan aspect of Wrestle Kingdom, where certainly when you're there in the Tokyo Dome on Sunday, you're going to get a big reaction from Aaron Wolf, because all of the Japanese people know who he is. We were watching, with the family the other day, we were watching New Year's Eve TV, and one of the countdown shows, they have like all of athletes from across the sporting world, and they do different like strongman contests and things like that. And like and Shingo Takagi was on it. They were doing a push-up contest, how many push-ups you can do in 3 minutes, and like Shingo was in that. But Aaron Wolf was like a huge part of the show, right? And they were doing like this. It was, the deal was like they had like a plexiglass wall, like it was the pandemic, and you had to, and two guys on either side, and you had to like, and it was like a tug of war. How hard could they push the other guy off the platform, kind of thing. And Wolf made it all the way to the final. Then, he lost to some powerlifter. But I mean, it was a thing of like, his celebrity. He passes that so-called mum test. And now here he is, and like there's going to be a lot of anticipation. How does he translate to pro wrestling? But for you guys, you're like, who's this? Like, is he going to be a megastar, or is it not going to work out? And like we don't know what's going to happen. The sheer unpredictability of it is what's really crazy, really exciting. And I don't think we've had something like this in the Tokyo Dome for a long time.
Yeah, it's like we've made the comparison a couple of times of like, it's like if Simone Biles decided to sign with Stardom or something. We're talking a major American Olympic athlete, but in this case, world champion multiple time over judoka in Aaron Wolf. I'm excited for it, and Riley, I have a question for you more than anything. I know that there's been kind of conversation within like the Young Lions and the Noge Dojo, and certainly there has to be a conversation about this within the main roster as well of New Japan. This idea of like celebrity, not trumping time in professional wrestling, but almost, this judo time kind of trumping any time in the dojo in terms of getting championship opportunities. How do you feel about Aaron Wolf making his pro wrestling debut in a championship match for the Never?
I'm nervous for him, man. I've been wrestling 20 years, and I still get nervous to wrestle the Tokyo Dome. And this is his first match. Like, you're always nervous for your first match, and you're nervous for the Tokyo Dome, and like both of them together is like double nervous, man. Like, we're nervous for him. Like, I wish he almost got a couple reps in at like Korakuen undercards or something, just to like feel what the like roar of the crowd is like. 'Cause it's overwhelming a little bit if you do like, he's in there with a professional, but like he's up there against like the most hated people in wrestling.
Yeah.
So he's gonna hear these like, those boos are gonna startle him. I don't think he's like quite I don't think if he understands what it's gonna be like. Like it's so to bring it back. Like, I don't really care that he's in a championship match. He's a gold medalist. Like,
sure,
he's established as a world-class athlete. But I'm nervous that like the dojo system, they don't kind of like teach them how to do big moves. They don't teach them how to get choked with wires and chairs and stuff. They teach them how to do rolls and drop kicks and forearms. So I don't know how much moves he's going to know. And I don't know if he's going to know anything about House of Torture antics and stuff. And that's a whole like different other like ballpark. But I'm just nervous for him, man.
He is confident, and I think he did a public workout recently, right? But like the evil is a judo takedown. And I think like there is that element of, and evil is maybe a little bit more proficient in judo than some might know. And it was really crazy. Evil had this interview on njpw1972.com where he's really sort of nailing down like he's going to see what the king of sports is. You know what I mean? And like, so I think there is that element of like evil, and I know like he'll push those buttons because he's hardly exactly Antonio Inoki's vision of strong style or whatever. But in another way, he is. And in another way, like, he knows that. And that's what is going to... This isn't like Antonio Inoki versus William Ruska in 76, but there's aspects of that 50 years on of pro wrestling versus judo. And Evil's version of pro wrestling versus judo. And I wonder, I think you are going to have... Certainly the casual fans are going to be really behind Aaron Wolf. Don't you think there won't be people cheering for Evil? And I think like we saw it in in the G1 final. They know the real ones know that Evil has been around since day one, and he's one of ours. And I think there are people that will be like, "Oh, pro wrestling versus judo. Pro wrestling's still number one, and Evil still has to show it's number one." I think that's another little interesting aspect. Walkie, do you think like there'll be?
Yeah, no, I will never forget the chill that went through my body when I heard chants for Evil back in the G1 final. So, if that's replicated in the Tokyo Dome, at least we're gonna know why. But again, in that situation when it was Evil and Konosuke Takeshita, it was, even if Triple contracted what people at the time and maybe even now still considered an outsider in Konosuke Takeshita, taking on a New Japan born athlete in Evil. And I think that even though I think there's a lot of credit to be given to Aaron Wolf for, retiring from judo in June of last year and taking on professional wrestling for the first time in his life, I don't know. I think that there is going to be a lot of support behind Evil that people are not expecting.
What do you think, Roddy, is the most difficult aspect? His guy, like, I think with Wolf, like one of the great things that people are drawn to is his charisma, and like he's a laugh out loud really funny guy, and just has like that great clap back. But like, how that transitions into professional wrestling, we're not sure. Like, what's the one biggest thing? Like, if you're coming from an outside sport, you have an athletic background, you have the celebrity, but professional wrestling, like this point here, is a completely different animal. Like,
I think we could do a whole podcast about what it is.
Yeah.
Everyone in wrestling always talks about what the it factor is, and it's very hard to like narrow down, but it's very hard to like connect with a crowd and then be charismatic and then also perform athletically and have a cool costume. Like, what is his costume gonna look like?
Yeah.
That's just like a whole like big thing. If he just comes out, like, is he gonna wear his Olympic singlet? Is that cool when you're wrestling up against like a giant goth, beautiful badass? Like, I don't know, what is it in wrestling? How do you have it? You don't know what it is, but that's what we're gonna find out at the Wrestle Kingdom, whether he has it or not. But I also don't think you find out on your first match either. It takes years and years and years.
Well, this is something I was talking about a lot with you the other day. Is like, I'm really interested to see what Aaron Wolf's like when the Never Openweight Championship's on the line. I'm even more interested to find out what he's like in the opening undercard match in front of 600 people in the middle of Super Junior Tag League. You know what I mean? Like, it's these little moments that are that connective tissue for those who are young lions right now. Those are the moments where they're growing more than any other opportunity that they get. So I'm very interested to see it. And
we have said, like, I think if there were any sort of concerns of some fans that, maybe Aaron Wolf would just be a celeb part-timer, we've already announced who will be at New Year Dash. Aaron Wolf's going to be at New Year Dash. He's going to be wrestling at New Year Dash. So he does have that full-time. It's an ongoing process. And I think he's aware that that it will take time, but potentially it would have to take time with him as never openweight champion as well. I think that's another sort of level of like finding trial and error while you are a champion potentially. Do you think in a weird way it benefits him if he loses? Takes the pressure off a little bit, or?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's like an athlete. I don't think he wants to lose. He's got that different mindset where professional athlete or professional wrestlers don't mind losing big matches if, they look better than their opponent, kind of thing. That's a lot different than winning and losing per se. So, I've never talked to him.
Oh, really?
I've never. He's kept away from us. He's like in the young boy thing, So
Right.
we've never actually sat down and talked to him. I have no idea. I'm just very worried about what his costume's going to look like. And what's his entrance music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Fair.
I want to know, does he because that's a hairy man. Like, does he go full young lion bull? Does he?
You would be the one to wonder this.
I
You
would
wouldn't be questioning that. Yeah. Okay.
I just want because people confuse you and him all the time.
That can't be true.
No,
You're just not
the
telling
press
the truth.
conference came out. Like, we're all saying, I got so many people on social media that were like, "Oh, Walker Stewart's turn to wrestling."
At least it's not.
Well, alrighty then. I mean, you're gonna get a DM about that.
I know.
Yeah,
So that's your second edit point.
Anyways, what else do we got on the card?
Oh, geez, Andrade El Idolo,
Oh
the
man.
United Empire.
Wow.
Yeah, crowd's going up there. I mean, that's a big deal, and we don't know who the other member of that 10-man is.
You know?
I do actually.
Oh.
Oh,
Well,
oh, it's not.
I don't think you should say it, but
No,
maybe
I
you
don't.
could. You
So
could if you want.
you're working double duties.
It's Kikataru.
Oh my god. Oh man.
It's gonna be a huge pop.
Oh, well. Oh man. All right. It's the
No, I don't know. I don't talk
Pop,
to United
pop as
Empire.
in the air being let out or something.
Yeah,
you know?
like a
They
balloon.
go crazy.
Yeah.
But
All right. No, I mean, let's talk a little bit about this faction warfare if you want, Chris. I mean, it's the United Empire and the War Dogs. I mean, it's not the first time that we've seen it. Far from the first time that we've seen it. But I'd argue this being the most different iteration of that than we've had before. And I think the last kind of pinnacle to that was that dog pound steel cage match that sent Will Ospreay out of New
Yeah.
Japan Pro Wrestling, right?
And
So-
then, but I mean, man, Callum Newman's had a fire lit under him, hasn't he? Like, I mean, I think like that spark he had over during World Tag League, like the attitude or not, but I mean, that was really something. And I think like everybody else in that tag, like everybody has something connecting them to somebody else. Here comes Hinare coming back, right? Which I think is like an understated aspect of that story. And him and Gabe Kidd want to kill each other.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Hiromu has history with Andrade because Andrade originally La Sombra was the guy that asked Tetsuya Naito into Los Ingobernables. And now here you have later on that faction goes under. Here's Hiromu on his own. He sees that as a betrayal. So there's a lot of ins to that. It's a lot of work for us to do in a 10-man tag team match. Where you go this, but that's going to be chaotic. And I know, like, you've seen Saya Kamitani just recently defend that World of Stardom Championship. A very hard-hitting affair. A bloody nose. Taken to hospital afterwards. Cleared, apparently. So... But it's and now going straight into a double title match in Tokyo.
Yeah, I think with that one, it's like there's a level of knowing with the women, both women's titles being on the line in New Japan, that Saya Kamitani's not walking in 100%, especially after the broken, busted nose, everything, the hospital trip, everything you just mentioned, after Toru Yano won back in the main event of Ryogoku. So, in my estimation, in my opinion, if I'm Saya Kamitani, I'm trying to win that match as quick as possible, right? If I'm Shuri, I'm trying to go for a knockout shot and walk away with both women's championships. That's my thought.
Yeah, for sure.
my thought is not putting them on second.
Well,
Everybody after that is going to have a hard time following them.
right.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think that's the game plan for both of those women, right? Is to not just win that match, but to set the table. And Kamitani's talked long and hard about wanting Stardom to run in the Tokyo Dome. And this would be a huge key step for that. And the number of times, we talked earlier on about Tanahashi and Okada in the Tokyo Dome, a couple of different occasions. Wrestle Kingdom 9 springs to mind. And Tana's told this story of being in standby. Because what happens in the Tokyo Dome, the locker rooms are in the dugout area. And they drive you around the back of the building. Then you come in standby where, quote unquote, gorilla is. And Tanahashi was saying, I stood in standby listening to the crowd and it was Ibushi and Nakamura before them. And you hear that and you go, oh God. Do you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Everybody in that third match was a 10-man tag. Everybody else watching on the monitors is one of those sellouts at the monitor situations. And you go, how do we follow this? And I think they're really going to go absolutely all out for it. It's going to be sensational. And then you got that weird junior 4-way, huh? What's Doki thinking?
What is Doki thinking?
What is Doki thinking?
You talk to that guy? Ever?
Barely.
Really? Yeah.
I lose brain cells every time I do.
Okay.
I don't have many left, so.
What was it? Doki who said something like he doesn't want to wrestle in the Tokyo Dome because he would overshadow Tanahashi's retirement.
Ever magnanimous. The wrestling
Which
god,
is hilarious.
Right.
That's hilarious.
Well, yeah, I mean, you made the point on commentary the other day where it feels like he has this trauma to work through. Injured in the Tokyo Dome last year, and being on that big stage, an even bigger stage, with one of the people that was involved in that match in El Desperado. You've got a long line of people that Doki and Sho have screwed over that are angling for revenge. I think, it seems, I don't want Doki to hear this, but it seems like Doki's intimidated a little bit.
It's certainly a choice. I remember watching him in Despy last year, and when he hurt his arm so fast into the match, you're like, because you knew those two were just going to go out there and kill it. They have such good chemistry, and, it was so fortunate, you feel so bad for Doki, and then he, comes back and joins House of Torture before he even gets his, big babyface return pop, and you're like, what are you doing, bro? And then to not want to wrestle at the Tokyo Dome probably is because he is scared of what happened last year, but the first thing I would want to do is redeem myself. And for whatever reason, those idiots don't want to. All House of Torture idiots is what I'm saying. But it makes makes New Year's Dash unpredictable. It makes the rest of the year unpredictable.
Right.
I don't know.
I mean, whoever comes out of that 4-way as the number one contender, when do they challenge, right? And Doki is not just a one champion; he's got the junior tag belts as well. So and there are so many people that want their hands on both of them. Ultimately, the thing that happens is when you delay the inevitable, it just gets worse in the end. And I think Doki's comeuppance, he's going to be quite a bitter one to see. But yeah, so I think we've touched on everything but, as we're nearly at the end of our 45 minutes here, the Never Tornado 6-man Rambo. And, we've done a Rambo, every year, I think. The last couple of years you've been with us. We've done a Rambo. It's been a lot of fun. And it's been a lot of chaos and carnage where it's one person every minute. And here you have 3 people every minute. When one team is eliminated, over the top rope pinfall submission, then the whole team is out, and the last team left is the winners. You'd have to think Yano and Wato, not exactly their odds, not exactly. I'm sorry, Yano's going to be.
I was going to say he might hear you. You might want to. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. He is the master of manipulation, and I'm sure he's got strategy in mind, but a difficult situation for the champions.
Yeah, I mean, how many teams do we have in this thing? 6?
8?
10? 8?
8.
15? 8. We're settling on 8. All right. No, I mean, I think that a lot of combinations that we haven't seen before for the Never 6-man tag team titles as well, which is a hell of a point to bring up. The Knockout Brothers right before their IWGP tag team title defense alongside Clark Connors. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's these combinations that I think I'm the most interested in out of anything. Hartley Jackson taking it upon himself to say, hey, let's get something together with Zack Sabre Jr. and Ryo Haoiwa. I like seeing that. Riley, I gotta ask you if you have a pick for that match.
I don't even know who's in it, bro.
I
don't even know who the champions are.
You were there. Oh, God damn it!
You can't keep doing this.
God
damn
it! How many times? Every time you sit down next to me, I've written down in a big felt tip marker who the champions are.
I'd like the Hantai team to win.
There's a few. How about
I'd like the good one to win.
How about Kaisei Takechi with Shota Umino and
How about
Team
Shota
Beautiful Boys?
And that hot boy.
Hot Boys.
Hot Boy.
Team Hot Boys.
Team Hot Boys.
Well, 2 hot boys and Shota.
Well,
I love him. I can rub him.
Who do you like in that?
Kaisei Takechi was the name that I was thinking about. It's mostly because I don't know. I'm not the biggest DDT watcher. I watch what I can when I can.
Yeah.
And Kaisei Takechi is one of those people that kind of quickly caught my eye, as well as a lot of other people that watch DDT. So I think it's interesting. You start to look toward kind of the outsiders that are going to be there, the very few that are going to be on the Wrestle Kingdom card. Chris Brookes for you, and Kaisei Takechi being one of them. There's a lot of names. Taichi, Satoshi Kojima, and Tomohiro Ishii might have to be my pick.
Team 150.
150.
Team 150. 55-45. Ishii comes in, splits the difference, and even 50 years old.
There you go.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh,
Ronnie's thinking, I've got future after all.
Wrestling at 50 in New Japan Strong Style is crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like shit in.
You can just end it there. It's fine.
He's been doing this for like an extra 15 years. Like, I cannot imagine doing this for another 15 years at this style.
At that level.
Mad respect for those old boys.
There you go. All right.
Yeah, so I mean, everything, of course, the kickoff is at 3:30 p.m., so you guys are going to be there bright and early, from the morning. All these celebrations happening all the way around. It's a real party atmosphere. The merchandise stands are open, and everything like that. Go on the roller coasters or something. It'll be a great time. Then come into the show. If you are, of course, watching at home or on Instagram Live, 3:30 p.m. Japanese Standard Time, which is, go on, what's that in Eastern? What's that in Oklahoma?
Oh, God, I don't know.
Half an hour before the show starts.
Yeah, half an hour.
Yes, there you go. Easy.
Yeah, 1:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I believe. So
There you
12:30 Central. Or is there
You're
mountain
doing
or something
math,
weird?
yeah.
11. that's
Mountain
probably-
time, Pacific time.
Mountain time.
You're figuring it
It's
out.
mountain time.
It's real. I promise. Yeah.
10:30 p.m. if you're on the West Coast.
There you go.
That's a great time to see. And then UK time 6:30. There you go.
Yeah.
So wake up bright and early. Have your Sunday breakfast. Nice fry up. You coming from the UK? I know a few of us from the UK. If you are watching Wrestle Kingdom first thing in the morning when you've been at home on NJPW World, what's your standard Wrestle Kingdom breakfast?
Leftover pizza from the night before.
So a man after Walker's heart.
Yeah, there you go. I like it. We'll talk later. Yeah.
Any other Wrestle Kingdom breakfasts?
Skipping breakfast.
Skipping breakfast.
There you go.
The
Yeah.
brave man. You gotta have at least the coffee.
Hungry for some action. I like it. There
Yeah.
you go.
Coffee and pastries.
Coffee and pastries. There you go.
I don't want to
Business.
sound too British, but I did have beans on toast last time.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So what have you got? We are going to be live in English. NJPW Worlds. What else have you got to say for yourself?
That's it.
That's
You
it.
hit all the nails
That's
on the
it.
head.
Okay, so we're going to transition to a Q&A session, which will be off the broadcast, off the record, so you guys can ask her to say anything. So for the people watching on Insta, how many people are on Insta? Probably not many. Don't need to say that. And we'll catch you at Wrestle Kingdom. Gokigenyo, big old boy.
Yeah, let's go. Goodbye. Yes. All right.